Yeah, man.
Good morning. Is it morning or afternoon?
It's morning.
Morning from Lunen
Yeah.
in Germany. I am Dr. Charles Apoki. This is my friend, Dr. Miracle Emobosa Kelechi Apoki. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yesterday, we're in your house.
Yeah.
Yesterday, somebody requested that we should interview Dr. Mimi Apoki. And Ufoma said that you don't enter one chance. you don't enter one chance. You remember one chance?
Yeah, I remember one time.
So I said, okay, let's do the interview. What do you do here?
I'm a medical doctor here.
So you're into orthopedic surgery, not so?
Yeah, orthopedics and trauma surgery.
And trauma surgery.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just give them a background. He's my first child, first son. He is the head of the Apoki dynasty. And I delivered you.
Yeah.
I circumcised you.
Yeah.
And that was at Aba.
Yeah.
Being able to sit with you, and yesterday I was wearing your shirt,
Yeah.
and something came into my mind. Okay, I also wore SS shoe, our last born. I said, for me to be wearing the clothes of my children, wearing the shoes of my children, is a source of joy that they have grown up. When I usually take my wife's delivery, that time when you were born, I was doing youth service. And I delivered you at Okbulumobo Road, number 24. There was a clinic there, Grandel Clinic. It was what is the time? 1:35 a.m.
I think it was something like that.
1:35 a.m.
Thursday
on a Thursday. January?
January, yeah.
January
23rd.
23rd. I remember that day very vividly because I had gone to somewhere around where the teaching hospital is now in Aba to go and do rural medical practice, treat people in the village, and then came back home on Wednesday. Your mom went into labor, and then there was a midwife, and then you came out. It was very exciting. I carried your mom and took her to the bathroom, gave her a warm bath, washed the clothes. That's how we're living in one room and a parlor.
Yeah.
You understand? There was a 6-spring bed. When your mom lies on the bed, I will lie on the floor. So because when people see us like this, they think that we fell from the moon, we got one contract, or my father had money and gave to me. No. My father was a refuse collector. And as at that time, he was already accidented and retired. So why I'm doing all this is that these things we are documenting our lives. And I washed the clothes I used to deliver her. From there, I would go to work. When I go to, then we had a baby cot. You remember that baby cot?
Yeah. I remember it. Yeah.
I bought that baby cot. I think is it 6 naira, 40 kobo, or 640 naira. We used it for you. We used it for Ejiro. We used it for Ufoma. Used it for Essay. Then we gave it to a family. The family returned it. We are using it in the school, in the crèche area. I don't know. It might still be somewhere, or we have sold it to condemn. So that's a brief. That time when I go to work, if there's something that happens when you have your child, a certain sense of responsibility and appreciation for your parents, the effort they put into raising you comes. It's a strange feeling. It will just come like that. And that a life is now dependent upon you. And so I will go to work. I always remember Dr. Wanko of blessed memory, good man. I will go to work, take permission, come and just be looking at my baby. Just be admiring my baby. And you were a very fine boy. And you're still a very fine boy. Because I started describing my children before they were born. their intellect, their looks before they were born. I will prophesy them. And so there was one day I was carrying you, and I didn't know children, whether you were dreaming, I don't know. You just made like this. I said, this child has tetanus. I ran into town. Dr. Steve Anyaro and one other person came. It wasn't tetanus. It was just that the child was dreaming or whatever. So today we are here. I'm so excited. So how I remember very early, I used to carry you into the hospital. I'll take you to the theater. Then I will write professor on your palm.
Yeah.
I'll write professor on your palm that you were going to be a professor of medicine very early, just like as my father told me. Because we are talking about early focus. Did that contribute to why you decided to study medicine? Because at the point I discouraged you.
Yeah, I think most of the time, as children, the influences you get shape the kind of determination you have in life. Most of those things actually impacted me. If I saw something else, if I saw maybe things that didn't really impact my life, then probably I would have focused on that. But that really impacted me. I think one of the things I remember every time is one of the time you took me into the theater. There was a patient that I think he was wounded with a cow or so.
Yes.
He had a big wound on his thigh.
Let me describe it. You know, they are the. I hope we are still live.
Yeah, I think we're still live. Yeah.
Okay, if we are still live, let us know. Just send the comments. So let us know. I remember that patient very vividly. At the Ogbo Hill waterside,
Yeah.
they slaughter cows
Yeah.
there. So they were trying to slaughter a cow,
Yeah.
and this boy was holding the horns, and then the cow freed itself, and the horn pierced through the thigh,
Yeah.
passed through the inguinal ligament, perforated the abdomen.
Yeah.
You understand? So the intestines were bulging out,
Yeah.
and they brought the young man to me. A very dirty wound, cleaned it, pushed the intestine back, put drain, stitched it so that in such a way that the drain could be in place and the wound could heal. It was a very
Yeah, I
dirty.
think I still remember. I don't know how old I was when I saw that. But I think that really impacted me. I think that was one of the reasons why I actually wanted to go into surgery and the rest. But I still remember that. I can't remember how old I was.
Wonderful, wonderful. So little things. What I'm learning now is that little things can impact the mind of children.
Yeah.
And your sister, you know, I went to National Orthopedic Hospital in Enugu with you.
Yeah.
Remember our Jeep?
Yeah.
Niva Jeep.
Yeah.
Where I used to drive to Enugu to see your mommy and Ejiro.
Yeah.
And I went one day with you. Did Ejiro's surgery for, she had bilateral genu valgus.
Yeah.
Did that contribute to why you chose orthopedics?
I think that was one of the reasons why I chose orthopedics, because I was always interested, or I was always wondering what could someone do different, or what could someone actually, why did they do this, why did they do that, why did they do this. That was one of the reasons why I was very, very much interested in orthopedics.
Okay.
And I think I wanted to see the medical field there in Nigeria. It was advanced for a stage and the rest, and I wanted to see if we could have done better, if we could have done something else different and the rest. I think that's what made me go into orthopedics. And
okay, and then you see, I'm just trying to encourage some families here. We didn't fall from heaven. We are not a favored people, so to say, but there is grace. That time, Ejiro had the bilateral genu valgus. Ufoma had cleft lip and palate. Two of them were admitted in the National Orthopedic Hospital at the same time. One was in bed 6, one was in bed 8. You remember my parents were living with me at number 24 Ukegbu Road, where I had my practice in Ogbo Hill. My father had spinal cord injury. My mother had stroke. So we had 2 paralyzed grandparents.
Yeah, I think I remember what I remembered that day was when we come back, that your face was very close to the steering. I think maybe we drove back in the night or so.
Yes.
When we come back from the hospital.
Okay.
That's it.
There were two incidences that happened in that journey. Was it we were driving Laurel then, Datsun Laurel? We went with Niva, we also
Yeah.
went with Datsun Laurel.
Yeah.
You remember we were driving down to Enugu and the car flew.
Yeah.
Flew near Ihube, and after Ihube also, I didn't know that the road had been disconnected, that there was a gap. So as I was driving, the car now flew in the air, and I shouted, "Whoa!" And then we landed. Boom, boom. Thank God I fastened your seatbelt some few hours or minutes before that place, and then the windscreen cracked.
Yeah.
You remember that incident?
Yeah.
So then there was the other time, but you didn't notice that. When we were coming back, my father had spinal cord injury, as I said. My mother had stroke, two paralyzed parents. Ufoma had cleft lip and palate. Ejiro had bilateral genu valgus. And there's a man called Empire Carpet, just before Umuahia. His town is just before Umuahia. When I got to that junction, I was heading back to Aba. I said, "Why, God, why me? Why me? All these problems." I think I was 30 when these things were happening. I was 30 because I had you when I was 27.
Yeah.
I had Ufoma me Ejiro when I was 28. Ufoma 29. So this was happening when I was 30 years old. I was 30 years old. I had not seen any of my brothers for the past 5 years. I was alone in the East. That's what God helped me to learn to live alone and walk alone. Why we named the Mobosan was that we later found out that your own thing, what you own on your own, is better than what we own. Don't put your eyes on any person.
Yeah.
So that day, I was shedding tears and I said, "Why me? You didn't see me, but God told me, say, why not you? Say, somebody has to pass through this road to be able to encourage others in the future." And that's why we're doing these videos. That's why we're doing these journeys. When people think that I'm overtly excited, yes, I am, because I passed through a lot of pain and trauma with my wife alone, raising this family. And it's a source of encouragement to another family that no matter what you pass through, you can still reach. I'm talking so much, but I'll give you the chance to talk now. Now, you remember when we were carrying Ufoma to Port Harcourt, police Pushimoto.
Yeah.
What happened with police Pushimoto? I want to know that.
I can't really remember. I think I don't know whether I was 3 or 4. So
Okay.
I just remember seeing police pushing it was on a bridge, or I can't remember.
Okay, let me explain to you. When you are coming from Obehi,
Yeah.
you know, there's another road on the left you can take into Obehi. And then just a little bit further is the Imo Bridge. And so we stopped. Police stopped us. And I told them, this guy is not very good, though. He stopped us. That's it. I'm carrying this baby to a hospital. Then he said he must stop the car. So I have the car. The car refused to start. And then I said, they have to push us. So police was pushing the car. And then you said, "Mommy, police pushing motor." police pushing motor. You see, life is very good. We cannot laugh at these incidences.
Yeah.
So you eventually became you eventually decided to study medicine despite the discouragement. Well, let me ask you one question. You have always, or you had always wanted to live in Europe, school in Europe, have your family in Europe. How early did that vision come into you?
Started as early as I think in secondary school.
Secondary school.
Secondary school.
What's that secondary school again?
That was when I was in, I think when I was in Living Word.
Living Word
Academy.
Living Word Academy, yes.
Yeah. I had I think one thing in life is that if you set a plan for your life, if you don't have a dream for yourself, then you follow the dreams of others.
Okay.
And I've always had this notion that if this is what I want, set your dreams very, very high. Set your dreams very, very high. It doesn't really matter the circumstances and everything you pass, but if you have a focus on what you want to go, you end up going somewhere very close to your dream. You might even exceed your dream and the rest. And that's what has really pushed me. Um, Most times, most people see and think, okay, failures don't come and the rest. But I think failure is also part of life. And one thing about life is not the failures; it's about standing up after your failure. And that's what really pushed me in the whole thing.
Okay. There were challenges you had.
Yeah,
At one time, I had to take you from year 4
yeah,
to year 2
mm,
to come to Europe
yeah, yeah.
because I wanted you to be properly grounded. How did you feel?
It
Did,
was
did you see me as a wicked father?
not really. I think mm, not really. Then, as a young, as a child, probably you have a little bit of resentment and the rest, but not really. I've learned one thing in life at very young age. Most people try and blame other people for every failure they have. The first thing I try and do is to criticize myself before criticizing anyone else, because you are the one responsible for everything, most of the things that happen in your life. So, not really. I don't think I was not really resentful to you or the
But
rest.
the excitement of going to Europe overwhelmed that withdrawal from year 4 to year 2. You know, I took a Europe from year 3
Mm,
to year 1 to write jam.
yeah, and also when we came, the thing we saw is we saw the end product of what we wanted to do. Like we immediately we came into Romania, we knew okay, we didn't want to. We wanted to study here. We knew what we wanted to do. So it was more of a means to an end. So it didn't really affect us that. And
Okay,
then
can
yeah.
you tell us about that traumatic you tell it from your end, I will tell it from my end.
Mm.
When you got to Romania and you were sent back.
Uh, we the first time when we went with Turkish Airlines, me and a friend of mine, and we got to Turkey. After transiting from Turkey, we got to Romania, and there was a Nigerian who came, I think, some weeks, 2 or 3 weeks before us, and he came with fake currency. So they say suspecting every Nigerian that came, and that's what we went back to Turkey. We had to stay in a room that had no windows and the rest, and
A sort of confinement,
confinement.
like
Yeah,
a solitary prison also.
solitary prison, and it was very, very, very discouraging. But even when we came back, and for me, I think it was discouraging, but it didn't really stop me. I have this, or I think I've developed this kind of character that the more tougher it gets, the more tough I become. So when the problem gets tougher, you just make yourself tougher than the problems, and you try and push through.
Wow, the tougher the problem, the tougher you become. Become tougher than the problem. Now, you told me as we were coming back from Belgium
Mm,
that that mark, that thing scarred your heart.
yeah.
So what
Yeah. After that experience and experience of um, Turkey and the send us back to Lagos, um, I told myself that I will change this narrative for myself. I told myself that I'll most. I think that also scared me because I didn't really travel a lot. Most other people traveled a lot outside Romania when they were studying. But I told myself that I don't like. There's one thing I don't like is anybody underestimating me for any reason.
it's a family culture. We don't like being taken for granted. I will fight back.
So I told myself that I'll get to a point that nobody can underestimate me for any reason. And I think that thing scared me. And I told myself I'll change this. And that's what pushed me into that.
You have not finished the story.
And when I came to Germany before, I after starting work here, I got my German passport, and when I travel now, I don't have this fear of somebody coming to meet me to talk to me and the rest. I think that thing really pushed me and told me that I need to change this narrative of being underestimated, even though
and being profiled.
yeah.
And at the same time, that desire of becoming a global citizen, you wanted to actualize it.
Yeah, I wanted to actualize it, and even it made me also don't. I didn't want it for my children too, like
Okay, you didn't want your children
yeah, to
to
have
experience what you
experience the same problems I have. There was one thing that you told us then. You told us that about the difference between your father and you. That
Mm,
most of the things that your dad passed through,
mm,
that you didn't want your you brought yourself up to a level that we don't need to pass through the sufferings that you passed through.
yes.
And I have this philosophy in my head that the difference between you and your dad, I should try and create that difference for also my children.
Okay.
So I think that's one that thing that pushes me out, pushes me forward.
So now you are a German citizen.
Yeah,
You have a German passport.
yeah.
So how many countries have you been to?
I think like 10 or so,
10.
10 or 15,
And
10 or
I
12.
like the way you walk. You walk with. We know one thing I admire about my children. You guys don't fear what I fear.
No.
Eh? You have so much confidence up like that. Essay was coming from the US.
Yeah.
That's my last born. Was coming from the US and got to France. Somebody said, "Can I see your passport?" He said, "No, you don't need to see my passport. I've had my boarding pass." And I always wonder, where do these children get this confidence? Maybe it's because I'm Odogu.
Yeah.
You have an Akproka father.
And I don't like anybody to for
We were in the airport somewhere in Bucharest. I mean, in Yash. One guy, we were coming from Barcelona, and one guy just came to check my passport. I said, "Have you been to this country?" I said, "I've been coming here since 2012. Came to see my grandson, who is a citizen, but then checked for my son. So that Ufuma works in that country. And then I was seeing the Apoki spirit coming up. I was begging in my spirit. I said, please, please don't let this thing explode. The Apoki spirit was coming. He said, can I ask you, sir, why are you searching us? Why did you stop us? Other people are passing. You didn't stop them. Are you profiling us? As the Apoki people. My mother never feared any person.
Yeah.
Do you still remember?
I
Very
remember that.
faintly.
No, I remember both of them actually.
Okay.
I remember them.
You see, my mother, if they beat you outside, don't cry home. If you cry home, my mother will beat you. Say, go there, beat somebody's child, and I will apologize, I will beg, but don't cry home. So I'm so happy you took that decision. You didn't marry on time.
No. I think most people most people are under the pressure of society, family, and what people think of you and the rest. The person I'm responsible for is myself, first of all, before
Yes,
anybody else. I know what I want. I have a picture of what I want in my head. And if it doesn't fit into that picture, I'm not going to do it.
I agree with you.
And most people go into things just because of they want to please people, they want to do this. And for me, I think I'm don't compete with people. I don't compete with anybody.
Same with me.
I compete just with myself. And
And the vision you
and the
set
vision I
early,
said,
you
yeah,
set early in
and the
life.
vision I set for myself. So that's why until I get what I want, I decided okay, I'll stay that way. There was no need for
You
me
were a
to.
manchelo. Now I put you under your mom and I put you under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
We'll bring this girl, you will say no. We'll bring this one, you will say no. There was one incident in when I came in 2012 during your graduation, and you're a fine boy, very fine boy. In those days, when your mother carries you to the market, the Aba women will touch you and touch their breasts. They'll touch you and touch their hearts, and then you were such a handsome young man, still a handsome young man till today. And Remember, this is the father and son dialogue, and this is Dr. Mimi Apoki, the head of the Apoki dynasty. I am their father, and the boy is my friend, and he's managing the global aspect of our family, because it is through you that your two brothers came.
Yeah.
You got admission for them.
Yeah.
You waited for them to settle down before going to Germany. Not so.
Yeah.
You're a very responsible elder brother. Now, there was this incident when I came for your graduation. I saw girls around you, but you were not interested. And then I asked you whether are you a gay or you use baby oil. Papa give on your jaw. Oh, Arunala. So I asked you whether you were a gay, because the girls were just milling around you. Some of them would just call me, you understand? So I now asked you, why were you not? Then somebody, there was a party, a cocktail after the graduation.
Yeah.
I was drinking a glass of wine, and one of your friends from Port Harcourt, is still?
He's here.
He's here?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God for you guys. Then he came to meet me. He said, how did you raise this your son? How did you raise this your son? You drum?
Yeah.
You drum?
Yeah.
What else do you do?
I was pastor in church.
You were a pastor in church?
Yeah.
And you dance, you can dance. you can dance break down. I was very worried. I said, this boy, only you're a pastor, you are a drummer, you play keyboards?
No, I played a little bit, but I stopped.
And then you
I was doing drama,
and you were doing drama just like your father. I did drama. I was a crazy fella. I could hold a hall spellbound with comedy. And then you said that, I said, why are you not with any of these girls? You had graduated, and you told me that if I settle for these ones that are readily available, what if I see somebody in future that I would prefer? You understand? I have come to see you. I'm married to a German. She's a lawyer. You went to do your engagement ceremony in Paris.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful, even though I said, this voice when I decrease. So today, worry. I said, this might become decrease. Yeah, became. When we were supposed to say, come with me, you can go fly, go France, go engage your Igbo babe. Just the I said, this boy, but you know they send me money before. Since I know you, since you don't, now 35,000, you don't send me. But I know you take care of your younger brother. Yeah. But you know they send me money. So is it because you think I have money? You know they send your mama too.
I send to the other ones.
The younger ones.
And they send, or I take care of them.
And they don't tell me. I will also send.
Yeah.
These children are wicked though. You know, that 35,000 naira of currency exchange time that you sent. So I told your mother that I'm the senior in the house. So I would take 20, she would take 15. You know, women bagbati, she took all the money. And I don't eat anything inside though, but you have taken very good care of me. So you said, and I'm happy you are happy. There was one time I wanted you to come back to Nigeria. And you refused.
Yeah.
I like this, your mind that is focused on what you want to achieve, and you are not under pressure by any person to conform. I have that spirit too. I did a video with your wife, and you know, she came in. I had never seen her before. Mirella gave me meat. I was eating. We were very hungry. And she immediately rushed in. And I embraced her. Yeah. There was still some portion of meat in my mouth. Yeah. And but I couldn't swallow the meat. And I talked with her. And I posted it like that. I don't care.
At the end of the day, you're not that.
I'm not owing any person. I don't care. And then they said, so I hate it when you have somebody with food in his mouth and all that and all that. The mouth is my mouth. The meat is my meat. The girl is my daughter-in-law. And she saw the video, not so.
Yeah.
Did she care?
No.
You see, when you want to, if you want to conform to people, they will deform you. You know, if you must conform to people's standards, they will eventually deform you.
Yeah.
And she was so excited seeing me.
Yeah.
She drove me to Dusseldorf, but that girl can drive.
Yeah, she is.
When she did drive, I just an ambulance driver. I say, I can't tell myself, no, you woman, they be like that. I just said them be a jebota. Before I come down, she don't open door. Bram. I'm happy that you married an Apoki like us. All of us are tough human beings. So, how was you had to learn German language?
Yeah.
You did abonation.
Yeah, approbation.
Yeah. And how were you able to integrate? And orthopedics is very difficult. How were you able to do that? And what is the encouragement you have for young Nigerians who want to transit from Nigeria into the global arena? It's not it's not running away from Nigeria. It is that you are maximizing your potentials.
I think one thing is having a plan. I've seen some people have really want to come abroad and rest. Most of the time I ask them, what do you want to do? There are even people who I have seen, even here in Germany, who have certificates, they are doing something else. Cleaning jobs or the rest. The problem is most people don't have a set plan of what they want to do. And they just go with the flow. They just okay, I want to go abroad. Why do you want to go abroad? There are people who are in Nigeria who are very rich. There are people who are in the poorest countries in the world who are very rich. If you don't have a plan, then it doesn't work for you. And secondly, is the factor, like what I said, is not sitting down after a failure. Most of the time, I think I failed more than times I've actually passed. But
I know.
But I try and stand up every time I fail. That's the thing that pushes me. When having, like we said, we're having this vision of what you want in your head. So no matter how many times you fail, you stand up. The guy that did the electric bulb, how many times?
Thomas Edison.
Yeah, how many times?
I think 11,000 times.
Yeah,
he was even sent away from school for being too dull. You know, so his factory got burnt, and he was so excited that it gave him an opportunity to do it better.
So I think that's that's the thing that actually pushes me. For most people, I'll say if you say, okay, I want to do this, I want to come abroad, I want to move from Nigeria. Why do you want to move from Nigeria? What are your plans? What do you want to do there? Do you want to study? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? Research on it. And even when before I went to Romania, then I used to go hours to go and browse about Romania, the hospitals and the rest and the rest. I informed myself more about everything, and I think that's that's one thing that people fail to do.
So when you have a plan, or a vision, then you're ready to bear the pain to actualize it. You see, people don't understand some of these things. When you got this plan, I know you were Googling Liberty University in the US.
Yeah.
Do you know I also had that same dream when I was young? When I was 17, I had admission to Pristine University. You understand? But I couldn't have money to do a test of English as a foreign language. The school fees, if they sold our entire family, if they sold our entire family, including my grandfather's waterside, my grandfather had a beach where he was trading. If they sold all of us, including your mother's family, we couldn't afford that money. But I told myself where I could not reach, like as my father told me, my children will go there. And my wife understood it. So we did many things. You remember we used to duplicate cassettes at home.
Yeah.
at night. You remember we used to trim books, but I was very harsh man, a very wicked father. I stretched people so far. You typeset money is an idiot.
Yeah.
You typeset it throughout the night.
Yeah.
You remember I went to sell books. We went to preach at Assemblies of God youth camp,
Yeah.
opposite Redeem.
Yeah.
Remember I spoke to the men, and Barrister Zuka, of blessed memory, took us. I wrote that thing into a booklet, and the crowd came. You remember that?
Yeah.
They gathered, and I put down. I started selling books.
Yeah.
So I was willing with my wife, to go through all the struggles and the trauma to train 3 of you in Europe, 3 boys. The girl was schooled in Nigeria. I wanted that to also come overseas. But now, let me go back to the experience when they sent you back. Your mother paid the school fees while I was preaching in Kano. That strength that woman has, she paid the school fees while I was preaching in Kano. You went to the embassy yourself. I didn't go with you. You went with a Dafe. You stayed. There was a hotel I stayed in. Yanya.
Yeah.
I stayed in Yanya. I recommended you to the hotel. You negotiated with the hotel owners.
Yeah.
And you stayed there
almost 25 days or so.
25 days
for the hotel
at a reduced fee.
Yeah.
And then you got the admission. Then we were able to raise the money, the school fees. Dollar was cheap there, 114 naira to the dollar. You remember the hotel we stayed in Ogudu Road? Then I bought the dollars in Echo Bank, Oceanic Bank in Ogudu Road. Then you took off. There was one thing you did that frightened me. Immediately you were cleared to go. You didn't turn back. You did not turn back. I was crying that this young boy is going. I don't know where he's going to. None of us had ever been to Europe. You didn't turn back. I saw the stoicism, the strength to face your vision. All this we pamper children too much nowadays. You just turned and went. And then I received one of the most traumatic phone calls. Daddy, we are coming back. At night. I called the Nigerian embassy.
Yeah.
They said there was no vehicle to come. They said there was no vehicle to come to the embassy.
Yeah.
I called my friend. I don't want to mention his name now. Called my friend. He called the Minister for External Affairs then. The Minister for External Affairs called the Nigerian embassy, called the Romanian embassy. Then they said it very trauma. I was phoning that time it was the Airtel or Econet dashed me free airtime. I was this time just to break this glass ceiling. Sometimes when you are about to break a glass ceiling, that's when the resistance becomes tougher, and you must become tougher. And then they said that if you guys come back, that they will detain you and ask why you were sent back. So I made phone calls to my contacts in the Lagos, my military contacts. Then my brother called his immigration contacts in the airport. So they received you. We went back to the hotel. You see, people, when you see people celebrating life, don't be angry. Just try to understand their stories and try to determine that you too will. When I'm moving out, there's a song I play, I'm unstoppable. Just decide to be unstoppable. So you guys came back. I had to pay for a flight for you to go back to Abuja. And I called my friend who is a senior advocate in Abuja. He sent a lawyer to the embassy, and the embassy said they've never had a trouble like this before. This man, how is he shaking everywhere? And then they eventually told you there was nothing wrong with your visa, just that Nigerian boy. And this is very important as a Nigerian. Wherever you go to, what you do there can affect another innocent Nigerian elsewhere. You must be very careful. And so you now came to Lagos. I didn't have money again. That's why I encourage cooperatives. I went and I bought another ticket. You said you were not going with a Turkish airline again, that you were going with Lufthansa, not so?
Yeah.
You got to the plane, they refused to board you people.
Yeah.
And then you came back, my money was exhausted. And you called me, my wife and I ran to the cooperative. They gave us 191,000 naira loan. We bought another ticket. One of the tickets, one of the days you were going back, Satan is a troublesome fellow. It's a madman. It's a bandit. You were going, and the flight to board the flight was getting late. Policeman stopped you.
Yeah.
And all these calls were coming to me. My inside was hot. Policeman stopped you, and he said number plate was not clear.
Yeah.
And my brain, then I called my brother whose son was with you, whose brother is an AIG, and he called the rubbish policeman. That, do you know who you are stopping there? And then the policeman panicked and allowed you to go.
Yeah.
You went. I have never prayed like that. I would pray. I didn't hear from you until on Sunday.
Yeah.
Daddy, we have entered. That's one of the best phone calls I've ever received. And it's interesting. I was sharing this with you who were coming. I was to come for your graduation.
Yeah.
The devil is a good evangelist. No matter your plans, he will always want to put obstacles, but you must fight against that plan. That was in 2012. I will sit down like this. The devil will come and meet me. You want to go for your son's graduation? He doesn't come. The devil is hardly loud.
Yeah.
When he is loud, it is the person who has gone mad that becomes loud.
Yeah.
You want to go for your son's graduation? They will send you back. They will send you back. Only me, nobody is hearing. The battle is in the mind.
Yeah.
Most people that are paralyzed, the battle is in the mind. Most people that refuse to take a step of faith, the battle is in the mind.
Yeah.
They will send you back. I say, never. I keep pressing forward. Then I went to the embassy. I made sure I got all the documents, carried all the passports that I had used to travel around Africa, carried them. I had enough money in the account, statement of account. They will send you back. They will deny you visa even. So I will say, shut up, shut up. Bind you in Jesus' name. Then I did a video something. I hear voices. So I got to the embassy and I submitted the document. They just came aggressively. Who are you? Dr. Charles Apoki. What are you going to do? My son is graduating from medical school. Oh, that's interesting. I gave them the documents. Are you the only one that owns this statement of account? I said, my wife and I, we run a school. It's a business account. So that's interesting. You travel to all these countries? I say, yes. How many days do you want to see? I say, 9 days. Only 9 days? Why don't you stay for 1 month? I started feeling like a big man inside. And then they gave me 30 days. You understand? And then bought ticket from the embassy to Ughelli throughout the night as I was in the vehicle going at night. They will still send you back. Whether they give you visa or not, they will send you back. You cannot enter Europe. They will send you back. So I eventually got visa. But this God is a wonderful God. I didn't have enough suits to wear to the place. And Dobitex gave me 5 pairs of suits to travel with, to wear. And I was so excited. Then I came to Lagos. I was in the airport. They had checked me. They will send you back. I don't know if any person has ever heard such voices, but my own was so clear that Satan was really dealing with me. They will send you back. There was a woman going to Dubai that was sitting near me, and she was discussing. I was just discussing. They will send you back. The devil is a madman. And I got, but I'm crazy. Now God has helped me. I got to Ataturk Airport. I was in the line. I was the only black man in the line. That feeling is somehow. I was the only black man in the line. You see, they will just notice you. They will just notice you. I entered the plane. We landed. And I was waiting for my luggages. I didn't see luggage. But I had been very wise. I shared my things into two. I left the gari, the egusi, and all that in the one box. I carried the suit and another pair of shoes in the suit hanger. I didn't have a shirt. I didn't put shirt there and tie. So that box didn't come. I said, okay, let me go to the passport control. And I got to the passport control. I said, I'm going to meet a woman. I won't meet a man. I said, the woman I just chose to meet, that's a time. The woman I chose to meet, one huge security man just went behind the woman, just whispered to her ear. Satan said, he is informing her to send you back. I'm excited. I make her enjoy myself. No, be small trauma. So that is telling that woman about you. Casting down every imagination. I say, I bind you. So I met the woman with a big smile. Good morning, madam. How are you? How's your family? You know, when you ask people about their families, they think you're a responsible person too. And then I said, fine, where are you here? I said, I'm Dr. Charles Apoki. My son is graduating from medical school tomorrow. That's why I'm here. Oh, aren't you? Congratulations. Aren't you lucky? I said, yes, ma'am. How many days do you want to stay? Say 9 days. You know, stay 1 month. Ma'am. Mimi, I ran outside. me vowed, I don't tule. I tule, but I had an alternative plan. As if they just say they are holding me, I would just faint. I would just form fainting, manufacture the signs and symptoms. Then they will put me in the hospital. Before I recover, I won't agree to recover until you come. And so I ran outside. When I ran outside, I didn't see you. Hey! I didn't see you. And then I told someone, I said, I didn't see my luggages. He said I should go towards the wall. There's a system that I should press number 6. I pressed number 6. I told the woman, good morning, man. I said, good morning, sir. I said, I didn't see my luggages. He said, come inside. Satan said, they are going to trap you now. Come inside. They're going to trap you now. And so I went inside, said, brought a catalog and brought all the different catalog boxes, and I selected my own. She said I should put my password, the codes I put, that I bring my son's address, I give your address. She said that I should give her your number, and you called, and he called. I heard your voice, that you were coming with a taxi. I waited. When I saw you, it's like when I saw your wife. When I saw you, the excitement broke all limits. And then I entered train for the first time. You know, we don't have train in the Niger Delta. We didn't have train. We have now. That train with you, not so.
Yeah.
And we went for the graduation. That graduation, I would never forget that day. I was the only black parent in the hall, and you were with white children. And I remembered my father. When I asked him, why are we poor? And he said, my son, is because I'm not educated. Say, but the school I could not go. The book I could not read. The English I could not speak. Where I could not take this name to, take it there. And I saw you on the stage with white children. I shed tears of joy. And I'm so happy that we are here. And I told my father, I said in my mind, I was telling him, Papa, I'm here. He was dead already. I'm here. I've taken the name far. I've gone far. Your grandson is here. And then there was an overwhelming presence of my past. I used to hawk akamu, pap, before I go to school. I used to hawk firewood. I would have, you see, you are taller than me. I would have been taller than this. Is the firewood. the firewood and the apple that compressed my head. And then now I remembered my mother. I will go and cut firewood in present day Okumagba layout during the rainy season. And as we're cutting the firewood, there's something called igrogro in Urhobo language. It's rivulets in between trees. The water will reach, as a small child, the water will nearly reach me at my waist level. And there will be rain falling from above and then water surrounding you. And I will be shivering. And I will tell my mother, "Ekpain, Mama, cold." We'll say, "Cross your leg. Cross your leg." I'll cross my leg. Say, "Peace for your body." I will now urinate on my body. The urine coming from inside me will keep me warm. And I saw you didn't experience that. And I'm seeing my grandson and your children will not experience that. And I said, God, I will attend the graduation in the medical school of my grandson in Harvard. So that is the way it has been. I'm so glad. This is my story. This is my song, praising. I don't know how to say.
Savior,
All the day long. This is my story. This is my song, praising my Savior all that day long. Remember, we have a webinar on the 8th and on the 9th of November, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. Send a message to +234 8021219262, and he will send you the flyer to register. Remember this. Remember this. No matter who you become here, there's a place you come from. I want to build a specialist hospital. I'm shedding tears. I want to build a specialist hospital for our people to help our nation. This is a dream. We will actualize it. God bless you. I'm your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki, and you are my friend,
Dr. Miracle Apoki.
And I don't see him now. And I don't see him. But there's something I must say before. You remember, I used to carry you guys to go and swim in Okanafu.
Yeah.
We couldn't go to the swimming pool. And we went to swim one day, not so.
Yeah.
In the stream.
Yeah.
Somebody was not wearing pants.
I don't think it was me.
Somebody was not wearing pants. And we were swimming. I don't know whether it is you. I'm suspecting it is you.
Let me off for one of us.
Somebody was not wearing pants. Don't you want to swim? He said he doesn't want to swim.
I think it was me.
It was you. You were not wearing pants. Look at you now, big boy, doctor. You drive motor for Janet. He said you be better person. You were not wearing pants. And suddenly I saw you. You jumped into the river. I remember that stream in Okanafu. It's nice. God bless you. Tell them God bless you now.
God bless you.
Tell them you are my friend. Tell them you're here.
I am your friend, Dr. Miracle Apoki.
Crazy fellows. That's okay. How do we exit? You know how to exit?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, God. Okay.